Hey, Slash, I do Buckaroos. How the heck are you? I'm going to be Tom the Whiskey Whisperer for this Thanksgiving Eve. Oh, I got that Alfred Hitchcock thing going on with my lighting, man. Wow, that's spooky. Anyways, wow, just can't get good lighting right where I'm at here. Oh, mercy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? Let me make an adjustment real quick. And fix this. There we go. That's better. Now we're back in business. Let's see if we're going here. Bear with me for a second here. It's always a first minute and a half. I wish I could just just edit out, but nevertheless, till I get it all set exactly because it's hard to tell looking at it here. Whoops, hit the wrong button. There we go. Now we're gonna have to say that's good enough. All righty then. How the heck are you? I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, and I've got two cocktails to share with you. One is a close to standard Manhattan. We're going to call her a Christmas Manhattan. I'm using just about the rest of my Hard Truth. I was saving this whiskey for this particular cocktail. It's my sweet mash rye from Hard Truth, straight right whiskey, barrel strength, uncut and unfiltered. Boy, do I wish I had about 2 bottles of this stuff because it is so good, man. There's just a little bit left, so I'm going to pour the rest of it neat and show you here. Probably got about an ounce left. Oh, not quite, actually. That looks like about 3/4 of an ounce left there. I'm just going to put into glass and have it neat with you. So again, I've got a rather standard or classic Manhattan, other than the bitters. The bitters I took a little liberty with to try to make it a holiday or a cocktail or a holiday or yeah, holiday themed, and use cranberry bitters. Gives it a nice red hue there, a little bit of a ruby hue going on. And let's have a drink, shall we? Because there's nothing quite like the classics, is there? I love a classic Manhattan or even an old fashioned, but I gotta admit, when it gets to be this time of year and the weather starts getting cool, my favorite cocktail, bar none, is the classic Manhattan. The only thing I'll change here is the bitters. I will change from time to time. They don't always have to be your traditional Angostura. I have used the Manhattan as a template to create other cocktails. I've taken out the sweet vermouth and used nocino or coffee liqueur and or to kind of change it up a little bit. But there's something special about a Manhattan for me, and I've noticed, especially on my trip, when I hit a lot of distilleries and specialty cocktail bars, a lot of classic cocktails are no longer on the menu in favor of a lot of nouveau cocktails. And I gotta admit, I'm not a fan, but then I'm no longer the demographic, right? I'm an old guy, so I just saw so many odd things on the menu for me anyway. Just several fruit juices and liqueurs, a lot of 8, 10, 12 ingredient cocktails, and I just don't feel like that's necessary. I feel like bartenders that do that are trying way too hard. I feel like if you're adding that many ingredients, you're trying to hide the liquor. And really, the liquor should be the showcase of your cocktail. The idea of a cocktail shouldn't be to hide the liquor, it should be to lift it up. And that's why the Manhattan, the Old Fashioned are such classics. Now, you can do spins on those. You use those two cocktails as a template. Change the simple, change the sweet vermouth, add whatever. In my case, I've added Nocino. I've added Applejack or apple brandy, coffee liqueur. Change it up, but always make the liquor the star. If you're trying to hide the star, well, then maybe your star is not very good. And I get it. There's a lot of folks out there that don't like the taste of alcohol, but those aren't the folks ordering classic cocktails. If you're going to charge $15, $20 for a cocktail, you've got to make the liquor the star of the show, in my opinion. So use your supporting ingredients to lift it up and not hide it. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. Tom, tell us how you really feel. Gosh, this is nice. This whiskey is so good, man. I can't believe I didn't buy two bottles, to be honest with you. I did buy their bourbon, but it was at 90 proof. But I should have. They were running a special. It was like $80, I think, for this a cask rye, and it came with their bourbon maple cream. I mean, I really just should have bought two of them. Yeah. I mean, it was the beginning of our vacation, right? So I didn't want to shoot my wad early. So I was trying to buy one thing here and one thing there and not buy it. But boy, I do wish I had bought two of those, especially at that price. Because this stuff really is that good. There's a lot of things I wish I'd have bought two of, or bought an extra something else from that particular distillery. But hey, you live and you learn. Like I said, I didn't want to. I didn't want to spend it all in the first couple of days, which is what was kind of my concern because I was seeing so many things I wanted to buy. And to be honest, I didn't intend it that way, but I was buying more liquor right away than beer. It's just that's what I was running across. Right, I was finding those great liquor deals, so I just went ahead and bought those. Uh, but yeah, I really do. Especially that bourbon. The bourbon cream was that good too, because it's all gone. We used that already. That's been gone. So yeah, that bourbon cream was something special, man. Bourbon maple cream, I should say. But yeah, when I went back there the second day, I bought the bourbon, but I really should have bought that special one more time because it is so good. This stuff, everything I buy has been so good. I've been going through it a little bit quicker than I typically do because it's just been hitting a spot. And a lot of it is a lot of it's the time of year, right? It gets a little colder, and the whiskey starts hitting the spot more than the beer does. Well, I've been going through the whiskey a little faster, but I've got a lot of IPAs, especially. I really need to power through because I've had them. I've had them for 2 months now, so I really need to get through them. Man, this is just nice. I love this hollow stem coupe that my wife found. She got two of these glasses at a thrift store. And I think she got these here in town. Man, these are just nice. I really love these. They're just nice. It's a nice presentation. They're just very elegant. I know I'm not an elegant guy, but nevertheless, I like to showcase my cocktail. I love the presentation of those hollow stem coupes. Gonna set that down for a second. I'm gonna pick up this neat. I'm gonna show you how wonderful this whiskey is. I had a beer last night with some friends on their on their holiday beer show. It was 11% beer. For me, it was just easy to drink, but to them, when they've had it before, they described it as rocket fuel. It was very hot initially, and they weren't sure what year that I had. Uh, and I took a drink. I said, "Look, no face, no nothing." They said, "Tom, that's nothing. We've seen you drink cask whiskey and not make a face." So, so again, I'm gonna drink cask whiskey and not make a face, and you're gonna have to pretend that it means something. Because I guess from wow, that is so good. From what I understand, I guess not everybody can do that. I'm guessing it's the Irish blood in me. Could be some of the German in there too, but I'm guessing it's mostly Irish. I can really take that whiskey. I don't get a burn, and I know a lot of folks do. I mean, I've had a discussion with someone a while back, and they were of the opinion that anything over 90 proof was hot no matter what. And I said, well, the proof doesn't make it hot. It's how it's constructed, how it's distilled, how it's put together, the ingredients. Some whiskeys do feel hot at 90 or 100 degrees, and some don't at cask. But for him, it was really cut and dry. Everything over 90 is going to be hot no matter what. And I just don't taste things that way. Because I've got this whiskey in that cocktail, and it as you can see there, I mean, it is so good. Man, it is so easy to drink neat, even at that cask. That boy, I wish I'd have bought 2 bottles of that. I just didn't anticipate. I didn't anticipate drinking it so fast. I didn't think I'd go through it that quick, man. But it was the one bottle that I opened right away, so I was drinking it in the hotel rooms that we were in. So I already had one bottle open. That was the bottle that I just kept bringing up to the various hotel rooms we stayed in. But boy, that sweet mash rye just makes an absolute gorgeous Manhattan. And unfortunately, I don't think they give me the mash here. No, it just says our distiller select blend of straight rye whiskey aged perfectly to extract notes of brown sugar, orchard fruit, and peppercorn. Use new charred American white oak. They don't give me a particular mash. Unfortunately, I wish they did. But gosh, man, I'm really kicking myself for not buying 2 bottles of that, especially at that bargain. I mean, $80 just for that bottle of cask rye wouldn't be out of line, but $80 for that plus that maple bourbon cream was such a freaking bargain that I'm really upset at myself for not. I just didn't think of it at the time, to be honest. But in my mind, I've already bought it. It's good. Let's move on. I was buying so much other things, but now that my bottle's empty, it's man, I wish I'd have had another one to open right now because that stuff is just insanely good, man. And of Indiana, I don't remember exactly where. I think it says here, but it just says distilled in Indiana. It doesn't give me a city. This just says aged over 2 years, so it's probably a young rye at just over two. But even so, I mean it wow, it is put together so exquisitely well. I don't think I don't think even the best whiskey expert would taste this and say it's only a 2-year-old rye because it is just matured well. It is rather complex because usually a young rye it can be good, but it's missing that complexity, those nuances. And this one is put together so well that you feel those nuances. I mean, as much as you might a 6 or 8-year-old rye. And again, look how easy that is to drink at cask. It is just so incredible, man. Let me finish up my cocktail here, and I will get cocktail number 2. Now, cocktail number 1, I went with the classic. And number 2, I kind of took an idea of a classic and took it in a different direction. You'll see what I mean when I bring it to you. And let me finish this up with you too. All right, and I'll be right back. Bear with me. Wait a minute. Well, it might take me longer. I'm old and fat and slow, but I'll be right back with that second cocktail. All right, bear with me. I hope you're still with me now, as I have cocktail number 2 with you. So, hot toddy inspired. What I have here is a toddy, not a hot toddy, but a toddy. I've got this served cold, like a cordial, or a digestif, or similar to a, oh, I don't know, a straight up old fashioned. But here's what I got going on here. I've got a half ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. I've got 1 ounce of a raw sugar honey simple. And then I have 2 ounces of this incredible whiskey, Ardent Spirits Buzzworthy, 57% or 114 proof. It is a honey barrel whiskey. So as you can see, I've got, oh gosh, that's delicious. As you can see, I've got a cinnamon stick, and if you look at the bottom of the glass, I got a dark cherry garnish. But I want that cinnamon stick to slowly impart some spice notes to my toddy. But like I did the other one, I want to pour just a little bit of this whiskey neat to have with you. This is a 2-ounce glass, believe it or not. So I'm going to put it about halfway. I want to get about 1 ounce in there. This is the whiskey I decided to open up for Thanksgiving. Ardent Spirits, Honey Barrel, Ardent Spirits, limited releases from the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery. The beer is Old Herald. The spirits are Ardent. The beer was really good there. I'm a big fan of this whiskey, though. I mostly bought this whiskey. They had several things that looked good, and again, it was our first stop on the vacation. So I wanted to buy one product, and it was really tough to narrow it down. But the reason I bought the Honey Barrel is you don't typically see a lot of Honey Barrel whiskeys. Oddly enough, I ended up buying 2 on my vacation, but I didn't expect to see that. They had some other stuff that looked really good, but this Honey Barrel just caught my eye, which is why I bought it. God almighty. Again, at 114, holy crap, in a basket. This stuff is amazing. Oh, very aromatic. You can really feel that honey on the nose, believe it or not. A whole lot of vanilla. Oh my God. I'll go into more detail later, but I want to focus on this toddy because it needs to, well, I got it chilled, so I'm going to want to make sure I drink it cold. We'll worry about that whiskey later. Wow. Wow. It gives you all those hot toddy notes, just not hot. So, yeah, I squeezed some fresh lemon juice in there. And I made it simple with a combination of some raw sugar and some honey. I didn't add any bitters to this. I thought about at the end there putting some mint bitters in there, but I said no, I want to leave it as is because I've got the cinnamon. So, but that's what's in here. The whiskey, that raw sugar, honey, simple, and a half ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And so I wanted to put enough lemon in there where I could taste it, much like you could a hot toddy. But I wanted to add enough other things where you could taste those ingredients too, where you could really feel that lemon, but it wasn't overpowering the whiskey. And you can feel that honey in there as well. Gosh, that's tasty. Man, that's just good. I don't care who you are. Oh, mercy. See if that helped any. So I asked a friend what kind of glass this was with the etching. He says it was a very elegant Nick and Nora, but then when I told him I thought it was only about a 4 ounce glass, he said it was probably meant to be a cordial glass. And 4 ounces, if it's only up to 4 ounces, it's a cordial. I did not know that. But I do feel like this is a 4 ounce glass. However, here's the however for me. And I'm not doubting what he said because he's an expert in glassware. But for me, a lot of my cocktails are right at 4 ounces. Right, my Manhattan is right at four. My old fashioned is right at four. So I think I have been using a lot of cordial glasses for my old fashions and Manhattans because I want it right at 4 ounces. I want it to look right to the top, right? I have, larger glasses, but then it looks like I've got this much room because you only want about 4 ounces in there, right? Or less sometimes. I mean, if you're talking about 2.5 ounces of your whiskey, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, you got a 3.5 ounce cocktail there. You're going to chill it. You might add a little bit of residual water. That might take you close to four. But again, you don't necessarily need it over 4 ounces. So, nevertheless, I really like this glass. Again, it's very elegant, unlike me. Unlike you, Tom. No, I don't know where she found this one, but this one is just beautiful. Great etching. It's a nice looking cocktail glass, man. I'm going to set that down for a second. I'm going to pick up this whiskey again and take a little sip. So, honey, vanilla I mentioned earlier, but almost feels like you get this little like cigar tobacco note on the nose. A lot of oak, a lot of spice. I would really like to get back there again. We weren't spending the night there. It was our first stop. It was about halfway between there and our first stop. But I would like to stay in that area a couple of days because this particular brewery and distillery has great nightlife going on. And they had a band playing that night that I really would have liked to have seen, but I didn't really want to be that. We wanted to get closer to our final destination. So, but I would like to get. I mean, if we ever have just enough time to go about 4 hours away, I would like to spend maybe one, maybe 2 nights there just to relax and enjoy the area because there was a lot going on in that space. There were other places to visit other than there, but this particular place again had some great nightlife and some great bands I really wanted to see. All right, let me finish up this cordial. The toddy, the cold toddy, the toddy, the toddy. Yeah, toddy doesn't have to be hot. Yeah, that was kind of the idea here. Is I wanted because it was a honey whiskey. I wanted the idea of a toddy, but I didn't want to serve it hot. I wanted to serve it more like you would a straight up old fashioned or a cordial, if you will. And man, that is just a nice drink, man. And as I've let that cinnamon stick sit in there and just slowly impart notes, oh my lord, it is just absolutely delicious. Yeah, that works. That works, man. That just works. So, as we head into Thanksgiving, I hope everybody out there is doing all right. Try not to create too much drama tomorrow. I know Thanksgiving is kind of known for that. I was talking with a friend the other day about their particular past Thanksgiving dramas, and I didn't really get into mine, but there's always something. There's always somebody getting too drunk. It's always somebody talking about politics. I know in the case of my dad was the one Democrat in a whole family of ignorant ass Republicans. So, but my dad being my dad, which is probably why I am the way I am, is that he would intentionally stir the pot. He knew what their thoughts were, and he would intentionally poke that bear. He would know the exactly he would know the exact right thing to say to irritate that particular person. And there might be five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 of them, and he would say something different to each one because he knew exactly what statement would irritate each particular person. And I'm both sad and proud to say I've inherited that trait. I know exactly what to say to irritate any particular person. I mean, and sometimes I wish I didn't have that ability, and then other times I'm glad I do. Uh, but whenever something happened recently to kind of trigger that, and I thought, oh, that's exactly what Dad did. That's why I do it. No, that's not true. I'm not blaming my dad for why I do it. I'm blaming my dad for having that ability. But the reason I do it is all me. I'm taking full responsibility because I know I'm creating havoc when I say such things, or I know it has the potential to. Vanessa, how are you? Hope you're doing all right and getting ready for Thanksgiving. I don't know what your plans are. For us, it's just going to be the wife and I. So, anyway, I've ran this a lot longer than I intended. So, I'm going to finish my cocktail here. I was having two big cocktails, so I didn't want to hurry. So, let me show you this whiskey neat here. I love these little glasses, right? We once had a full set of these. I think we're down to maybe just this one at this point. I don't know. But I really liked them because they're like miniature neat glasses, right? but if you put about 1 ounce in there, it's half full. This whiskey is so insanely good. I gotta tell you, I don't. Unfortunately, they don't give. I was hoping they gave me more information about this particular whiskey in the mash. It just says produced by Ardent Spirits, Collinsville, home of Old Harold. I really, in all honesty, yeah. If I ever get the opportunity I would like to spend 2 nights in Collinsville, so I can spend at least one night at the Old Herald because they got some bands going on. They got great beer, good whiskey. Oh my lord, this stuff is just crazy good, man. It's one of those things too. There are so many things on the menu that knowing how good this is now, I wish I would have bought more, but I didn't open this, right? I wanted I didn't open this till we got home. I did, but now that I know how good this particular product is, I wish I would have bought more products from them. But again, it was our first stop, right? I mean, it was a rest stop, right? It was a place to stretch our legs, get a bite to eat before we try to get to where we were going. So again, I just wanted to buy one thing because there were so many things that looked so good. I set my sights on this one because it was different. But now that I know how good this is, it makes me want to go back and buy the other stuff that I missed. Oh, this stuff is crazy good. Anyways, I digress. But I digress, man. Well, happy almost Thanksgiving to everybody. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist. I was trying to stop it short of 30 minutes, but I rambled a little bit there. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist for living. Was that 27 minutes? Okay, then wrap it up, Tom. And next thing I know, around now I'm at 31. It's probably going to be 35 before I actually finish because it takes me so long to make a point. Again, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and oh my God, that stuff is so amazing. Again, I know you're not watching me and I know you don't care, but 114 at 114, that stuff is just crazy good. One more time with feeling, Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, blah, 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 blah. All around good guy, Sláinte. Thanks for tuning in.